The Morris Worm. In November 1988, a 23-year-old graduate student named Robert Tappan Morris decided to experiment with a program, a self-replicating worm. Morris's intention wasn't malicious. He wanted to gauge the size of the internet. But the program he created had a flaw. It didn't just spread from one computer to another, it multiplied rapidly, overwhelming systems. Within hours, the worm had infected around 6,000 computers, or about 10% of the internet at the time. Major institutions like NASA and Harvard were crippled. The Melissa virus. David L. Smith decided to create something that would make email explode. He named the virus Melissa. Melissa was a macrovirus hidden within a Word document, which then was sent as an important message. The email subject line was simple but effective. Here is that document you asked for. Don't show anyone else. People couldn't resist opening it. And when they did, the virus would automatically send itself to the first 50 contacts in the victim's email address book. Within hours, email servers around the world were overwhelmed. Companies had to shut down their email systems to stop the virus from spreading further, causing an estimated $80 million in damages. The SQL Slammer. In 2003, the internet was hit by what would become the fastest spreading worm in history. It was so fast that within 10 minutes, it had infected more than 75,000 computers. The worm exploited a vulnerability in Microsoft Server, and unlike other viruses, it didn't need a host file to spread. It caused massive internet slowdowns and crashes. ATMs stopped working, airline flights were grounded, and 9/11 emergency systems failed in some areas. It didn't steal data or demand ransom. It just wreaked havoc. Stuxnet. It wasn't just another virus. It was a highly sophisticated piece of malware, believed to have been developed by the US and Israel. Its mission was to infiltrate Iran's nuclear facilities and sabotage their centrifuges, a device used for separating various components of a fluid. These were the machines critical for enriching uranium. The worm spread silently across the world, looking for one specific type of industrial control system. When it found its target, it manipulated the speed of the centrifuges, causing them to spin out of control and eventually destroy themselves, all while reporting normal operations back to the monitoring systems. Sony Pictures Hack. At that time, Sony Pictures was gearing up to release The Interview, a comedy about the fictional assassination of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. A group calling itself the Guardians of Peace hacked into Sony's networks. The hackers stole massive amounts of data, including unreleased films, private emails, and personal information about employees. They leaked it all online, causing immense embarrassment and financial damage to Sony. The US government attributed the attack to North Korea, marking one of the first times a nation-state had been accused of a direct cyber attack against a private company. Wannacry Ransomware, a ransomware that encrypted people's files and demanded ransom payments in Bitcoin. Wannacry spread like wildfire, taking advantage of a vulnerability in older versions of Windows. Hospitals in the UK had to cancel surgeries. Businesses were forced to shut down. The ransomware affected over 200,000 computers in 150 countries. The attackers demanded $300 in Bitcoin to unlock each infected computer. But even if the ransom was paid, many victims never regained access to their files. This attack caused billions of dollars in damage. Solarwinds Hack. The attack was a classic example of a supply chain attack, where hackers infiltrate one company to gain access to its clients. Solarwinds, a Texas-based company, provided IT management software to thousands of clients, including government agencies and Fortune 500 companies. The attackers, believed to be a Russian state-sponsored group, inserted malicious code into a routine software update. When clients installed the update, the hackers gained access to their systems. The breach went unnoticed for months, allowing the hackers to explore some of the most sensitive networks. like those of the U.S. Departments of Homeland Security, State, and Treasury. If you found this explanation helpful, consider subscribing, and if you want to watch more of this content in short, check out my Instagram. Thanks for watching!